we're going to look at some other games. Yes, like our game. So what was the motivation for making this game? We wanted to look at other drawing games out there. For Android, you have What the Doodle. We're looking for a Pictionary-esque type game. It's actually pretty addictive when you get to playing it. Another game called Guess a Sketch for iPhone. The idea of the game's the same. How they implement it influences kind of how you play it and how enjoyable it is. They have game lobbies in theirs, which is good and bad. You have tons of people in one lobby, everybody guessing, kind of get pissed off when someone types faster than you. So it's nice just to have like a one-on-one type of thing, or 5, which is what the Doodle does for the Android. And Guess a Sketch has some more advanced features. Remember, these are all kind of like a Pictionary game. It displays a word. You have to try and draw that word so that other people can guess what your word is. And Guess a Sketch is a little more advanced. It actually has a toolbox where you can edit your drawing type, whereas What the Doodle is a little bit limited. This example of Guess a Sketch, again for the iPhone, draw your picture, people guessing, everybody in the lobby. It's a house. What the Doodle, the one for the Android. Some highlights of it are, it's multiplayer online, you can change your color and you can clear your image. Some problems we noticed with it, difficulty on the small screen, just sitting there touching it, moving around, it's really tough. It has a small user base, and since you only have 5 people in the lobby, everybody quits and it makes it suck bad. And words repeat pretty often. This is What the Doodle, a little simpler than the iPhone one. But it gets the point across. Options, you can change the color. Okay, so our game is called Draw It or Trace It. I don't really know which one. We'll call it Trace It for now. Multiplayer, 1 versus 1. The images are stored in the server, so it makes it so it's very easy to increase the amount of items to draw. There's a toolbox with some more features, which gives the user better ability to control their drawing, and it features an undo. So there's some screenshots of it. First you log in. You can remember your login. Multiplayer online lists the players that you want to play against. Server-side images pushes the image, so you have to draw both. Good luck. Okay, so some tools that you can use with it. You have a pen and eraser. The bucket fill, just when you draw like a square or a circle, fill that in. Same with that. So here's an example of them being used. You can see the squares unfilled and filled, and changing the tip width I think is the biggest thing to help the user. You don't want this fat tip every time when you're sitting there drawing on this very small screen. And then the undo, you can see the O and the W and the cow spelled out represents the undo working. Possible thing. So just to undo. You have to like hit a button. It was off.
All right, so for our drawing canvas, what we pretty much did was that we created our own view. It's not 3D graphics or really animation intensive, so we just use a regular view and extended that. And what we do is that we use the user's touch event and pretty much draw the path that they're using, that they're actually drawing with their fingers. It's pretty simple, nothing too complex. So overall, we want to save this to a bitmap so we can pass it to the server to have it compared to see which user was able to come closest to the original image. And David will talk about that when he talks about the actual server-side code. Right?
Sure. Do you want to?
Okay.
I'll talk about the comparison algorithm we have. It's pretty simple. It takes your image and it takes the image that you're drawing, and for each image it takes 25 points and averages the colors at each of those points, and it subtracts the difference between your image and the image you're trying to draw. And since you're playing against another person, the person with the greater difference in the comparison is the one who loses the game.
When you say subtraction, is it a distance subtraction?
It's a distance, yeah.
Okay.
So you can play around with it, you can draw. We developed the UI separate from the logic. We didn't have time to merge those. We have a demo of separate things, so you can imagine. But you can draw whatever you'd like. We added the drag and drop feature for the menu maybe. Maybe not today. So, yeah, we're working at one point. This menu is draggable and it remembers its location, so you can take advantage of the larger screen on a tablet, which is you have a very small screen, very limiting.
Okay. How do I switch it back? Okay. Like you said, we didn't have a time to wire everything together, so the first thing you'll notice about this demo, which I'm just going to do on the emulators, is that it's very, very ugly and it's very, very broken. It basically works out like this. Like the last project, I used custom servlets, spring-injected dependencies. I should have used Hibernate, but that would have made my life a hell of a lot easier, but I don't know why I didn't. Essentially, the game flow works out like this, sans his pretty screen. You log in, you see the guy on the right, player 3, my creative login names. He's already logged in. You see this screen right here is a lobby. It updates, it queries the servlet every 5 seconds. So if somebody is not in a game and logged in, they'll show up here. How it works next is you decide who you want to play against and it sends an invitation. And this should fire automatically, but there's fires a service at the back that checks for the invitations and it goes to this. This also updates every 5 seconds, so if you have an invitation, here you are, and it gives the thing. And once you ignite this, it, when broken, gets the wrong images, but it gets the images from the file. Again, the game logic. I had this working a lot better, but I was trying to fix some bugs before this started. Didn't have enough time to do that, so I had to revert. I use Cohesion. I don't know if anybody, it's Subversion. Look, either the last 2 commits that I made were corrupted or Cohesion messed up my stuff, but I had to go back to prior commits to that and then try to rehack it up to get it to work now. But anyway, you saw the screen, it draws just like that, and then what you do is you get the results, which will be probably nothing. You see player 1, yeah, there's no, but it runs it against the algorithm, and it comes back with the scores in no pretty way, and the quit button just does some cleanup and sends you back to the game lobby. That's about it.
So they each draw different pictures?
No, it's supposed to be the same, but it just got
So it doesn't let you see the picture when you're ready to draw.
You get to see the picture for like 15 seconds, and then it takes you,
Yeah.
right, then you gotta draw it, and then it takes it away 15 seconds later. And you can, more difficult pictures or play around with timers.
That's why it's TraceIt or draw it. We didn't know how hard it was actually going to be, so it's TraceIt. You keep it
Oh,
on there.
I got it.
Draw it.
We also wanted to give the user the option to actually like peek at the image, like you have like 3 peaks or whatever, so you can actually peek at the image for, like it comes up for a second or 2. So you can just get a refresher of what's supposed to be drawn.
That's it.
Questions? Group 9, get up there.